At the beginning of the movie, we see a timid and shy 16-year-old girl named Lisa. She is running down a hill in the middle of a forest. Suddenly, she trips on a step and falls several feet down. With the little strength she has left, she cries out for help, and then collapses unconscious right there. In the next scene, we see Lisa in the hospital. In the daylight, the severity of her injuries is clearly visible. Fortunately, that night a passerby found her in the forest and immediately brought her to the hospital. Outside Lisa's room, 2 police officers are discussing the case. Considering the previous bullying reports, the police are convinced that Lisa was tortured by the girls from her school. However, before moving the case forward, they want to take Lisa's official statement. They also tried to contact Lisa's parents, but during this process, they discovered that her mother had passed away a few years ago, and her father lives abroad. Her father takes no interest in her life, and even if she were to die, he wouldn't care. Later, when Lisa regains consciousness, the lead police detective, Mr. Kim, goes to meet her. He questions her about her health and the incident that happened yesterday, but Lisa remains completely silent throughout the entire interrogation. They are interrupted by her homeroom teacher, Miss Lee. She urges the officer to go away and let the girl rest for a while. Miss Lee is clear in her intention when she tries to stop Lisa from giving away who actually did this to her. Mr. Kim then notices 3 middle-aged women in the doorway. They are the mothers of the girls who are suspected of bullying Lisa. He figures that they want to threaten Lisa or bribe her into not saying anything. He asks them to go away since they are legally not allowed to meet the victim, but the women are adamant. Their husbands are people with power and money, which makes them believe their daughters can get away with anything. Mr. Kim says that it was the girls who had called Lisa to the mountain. However, the mothers dismissively claim that the girls were just hanging out there. When the argument escalates, Lisa asks them to leave because she wants to rest. Following this incident, the class teacher, Miss Lee, meets with the school principal. They are both fully aware that Lisa has been wronged. In order to safeguard the school's image, the principal suggests that Miss Lee arrange for Lisa's transfer to another school once she returns. He hides his corruption by pretending to be concerned about the bully's future. A few weeks later in the story, Lisa recovers from her injuries and is finally able to walk again. For the past several weeks, Mr. Kim has repeatedly tried to talk to her about the incident, but Lisa has not broken her silence. Later, due to a lack of solid evidence, the case is handed over to a guidance counselor, and the bullies are once again set free. One night, Lisa begins to have dark thoughts. She tries to do something unthinkable, but just then, a woman enters her room and she stops. That woman is the guidance counselor, Miss So-mi. So-mi has worked with many students like Lisa and has helped them rebuild their lives after going through similar traumatic events. She is not like an ordinary guidance counselor. She herself was bullied in school and knows exactly what it feels like to be weak and powerless. Because of this, she helps her students take revenge on their tormentors. At first, she feels no sympathy for Lisa. She reminds her of the events from that night, which causes Lisa to break down in tears. Once Lisa calms down, So-mi tells her to stay alive until the day she returns. On the day Lisa is discharged from the hospital, the leader of the bullies, Nayeon, comes to visit her. She brings a new school uniform, knowing that Lisa's old one was torn. However, she feels no remorse for what she has done. She tells Lisa that she should just die, as there's no point in her living. Before leaving, she even threatens her to stay away from the police. After she's gone, So-mi enters the room, having overheard everything from outside. She takes Lisa to her own home and arranges for her to stay there. A few days later, Lisa visits the neighborhood where her mother had lived before she passed away. When she arrives there, memories of her past come flooding back. Just then, her eyes fall on a girl passing nearby. She follows the girl and soon realizes that it's her twin sister, Jenny. Lisa tries to meet her again, but Jenny walks away without any interest. It is revealed that their parents had divorced before the twins were born. Relations between the two were bitter, so their father never wanted any connection with either Lisa or Jenny. As time passed, their mother's financial situation worsened. Eventually, she left Lisa at her father's house and continued living with Jenny. After that, the sisters never met again, and Lisa was forced to live with her father, who saw her only as a burden. The next day, So-mi follows Jenny to a discount store and catches her stealing. She stops her outside and requests her help. Even after being told that her sister had been bullied to the point of almost losing her life, Jenny shows no interest in the conversation. She only agrees to help when So-mi offers her money. That evening, the three of them meet at So-mi's house. So-mi recommends that they live together for a week or two until the plan is carried out. Jenny isn't fond of the idea but reluctantly agrees. However, she is then told that she will have to pose as Lisa and attend school in order to teach the bullies a lesson. Jenny had dropped out of school a year ago, and to her, no amount of money is worth going back. She refuses to cooperate and walks out of the apartment. A few minutes later, she receives a video in the group chat. In the video, several girls are threatening Lisa. They tear her clothes, throw her to the ground, and kick her repeatedly. To make things worse, one girl, laughing in a strange, creepy way, is recording the entire scene. The video makes Jenny so furious that she storms back into the apartment and calls Lisa a coward. For Lisa, the video brings back the painful memories of that night, and she suddenly starts having trouble breathing. Seeing her twin sister in such a state, Jenny can't stop herself from feeling sorry for her. With fierce determination, she questions So-mi where she can find the girl with the strange laugh. The next day, Jenny goes to school posing as Lisa. Her classmates notice a clear change in her behavior, but no one pays much attention. Moments later, the group of bullies walks into the classroom. Their leader, Nayeon, excitedly sits on Jenny's desk and mockingly calls her cute for coming back to school. From her laugh, Jenny realizes that Nayeon is the same girl from the video, the one who had incited everyone else to torment Lisa. When Nayeon tries to get physical, Jenny slams her to the ground in one swift move. She grabs her hair, pins her down, and tells her to laugh again. Then, while strangling her, Jenny records the whole scene on video. Her bully friends could do nothing but back away in fear. Soon after, Miss Lee arrived and broke up the fight. She took both of them to a private room to discipline them, but Jenny was not the type to obey teachers. When she and Miss Lee were alone, Jenny picked up a pen, moved close, and lightly pressed it into her stomach, threatening to kill her. As Jenny scolded her for being unjust toward Lisa, Miss Lee began to stammer in fear. Later that same day, Jenny returned home and showed Lisa the video of Nayeon. Lisa didn't know how to feel about it. She didn't condone violence, even if it was against her worst bully. So-mi warned Jenny not to do anything like that again, as it could get her sister into serious trouble. The next day is the twins' birthday. They buy a cake for themselves and celebrate together. Lisa tells Jenny how hard her life has been, as she never received any love from her parents. Jenny feels sympathy for her, since her own life with their mother in poverty was far from ideal. The next morning, Jenny is still asleep, so Lisa decides to go to school alone. She assumes that since Nayeon has already been taught a lesson, she won't bother her again. At school, Nayeon's mother is in the principal's office, discussing how to transfer Lisa to another school. Fearing that Lisa might try to take revenge on her daughter, she wants her gone as soon as possible. The corrupt principal assures her that he will handle the situation. Meanwhile, Lisa overhears their conversation from the doorway and runs to the bathroom in tears. There, she runs into Nayeon, who, seeking revenge, throws a bucket of water on her. Lisa returns home soaking wet and collapses to the floor in exhaustion. So-mi rushes to help her, while Jenny turns red with anger. Without wasting a moment, she calls Nayeon and tells her that if she doesn't want the video of Lisa's beating to be posted online, she should come to the mountain. Afraid of being exposed for bullying, Nayeon does exactly as she's told. When she arrives, Jenny strikes her on the back of the head, knocking her unconscious. When Nayeon wakes up, her hands and feet are tied, and tape covers her mouth. Jenny rips off the tape and forces her to drink an entire bottle of water. Then, she pulls out another bottle, this one filled with acid. Nayeon cries and begs for her life, which only makes Jenny laugh even harder. She brings the acid dangerously close to Nayeon's face but promises not to kill her. Slowly, Nayeon starts struggling to breathe and cries even louder. Jenny unties her legs and tells her that if she wants to live, she should run. Seizing the chance, Nayeon tries to escape, but only manages to get a few meters before collapsing. Just then, Lisa arrives at the scene and tries to free Nayeon. A few seconds later, So-mi follows behind and is shocked by what she sees. She scolds Jenny for losing control and calls an ambulance for Nayeon. In the next scene, the police are interrogating Jenny. Since no one saw her with the victim, she is only considered a suspect. Seo-mi arrives and asks the officers to let her go for now. The officers decide to wait until Nayeon regains consciousness. Outside, Jenny claims that she has no remorse for what she did, and if given the chance, she would do it again. Frustrated, Seo-mi leaves her there and heads home. Moments later, Nayeon's mother attacks Jenny and hurls insults at her. Jenny mocks the woman and tells her to laugh like her daughter. During their argument, she also blurts out that everything she did was purely for revenge. The officers nearby realize that she is, in fact, the real culprit. When Mr. Kim calls her by Lisa's name, she snaps and insists that the Lisa they're looking for is actually at home. Later, Mr. Kim and his fellow officers go to the house, but Kim has a strange feeling about Jenny. He has noticed a significant change in her behavior since her stay at the hospital. Suspecting she might have a look-alike, he decides to investigate and heads to her home. However, upon arrival, he finds the place empty. Just then, he gets a call from the hospital. Nayeon has regained consciousness. Nayeon weakly mutters that no one else was present when she was attacked. A flashback reveals that when Nayeon was lying on the ground in the mountains, Jenny was actually alone. In reality, Jenny, Lisa, and Seo-mi were all the same person. Whenever Lisa was seen talking to either of them, she was only talking to herself. She never had a twin sister. After being bullied, she became so lonely and helpless that she began imagining someone who would care for her. Soon, this imagination turned into an obsession, and she developed dissociative identity disorder. However, the real Seo-mi did exist. She was a guidance counselor and the only person genuinely trying to help Lisa. But she had never met Lisa at the hospital. Lisa had imagined her presence there as a way to cope with her loneliness, and eventually merged her into one of her alternate personalities. Later, the court learns the truth about Lisa's condition and orders her to undergo therapy. She drops out of school and focuses on her mental health. We then see a clip of her speaking in detail to a therapist about her past trauma, gradually showing signs of recovery. In the final scene, the real Seo-mi comes to see her off at the airport. Lisa boards a flight to another city to start a new life, and with that, the film comes to an end.